Welcome, everybody, to Bet the Farm Podcast, episode number 10. I'm your host, Eric Pfeffer, a.k.a. The Sheep. Welcome, everybody, to the Pfeffer household. We got a little new venue this week.
A little different.
A little temporary, but welcome to my house for those of you at home joining us. And love having you over here on a nice Wednesday night. A lot more energy, and it's a home game for me tonight, so I'll be bringing my A game.
Farmhouse brought to you by Singer Health Center. As always, this podcast is brought to you by Singer Health Center. I'm giving you a little 2-for-1, Todd, even though you haven't paid me yet. But hey, if the bookies if the bookies break your back, Dr. Singer is here to fix it. Singer Health Center, home of Dr. Singer. Boys, Super Bowl's over. Congrats, Tom Brady and the New England and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wow, almost 2 on you.
Yeah. Was it 7? 7 Super Bowls?
7 out of 10.
We'll give that a little recap earlier. But as always, guys, jam-packed episode. We're going to recap the cash crops for you. We are going to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl, just get everybody's thoughts on the game, reactions. Quick NBA segment this week with the milkman himself, Miles Singer. As always, one of my favorite segments of our show, Red Card of the Week. We're going to break down last golf tournament, Waste Management, Brooks Koepka. For those of you that tuned in last week, hopefully you followed. We're going to dive into that one, but we got you a huge winner on that one. This week, the tour stops at Pebble Beach.
Correct.
Great golf course on my bucket list. Hopefully I get down there one year. We're going to introduce a new segment with picks, so stay tuned to that. I'm not going to break the ice on that one. We're going to have cash crops across the different leagues. We brought back Ask the Farm. We posted on Instagram today, so make sure you stay tuned. And then huge UFC card Saturday. We got the Nigerian Nightmare, Usman, fighting
Gilbert Burns.
So that's
Me and the Bird Dog will be live this week. Don't you worry.
And that's really all I got. It's going to be a fun show. Welcome to my house, everybody, once again. And Brandon, as always, let's recap the... Actually looking forward to it for once because I think I won this week. So, Brandon, take it away.
That's a winning week out of the farm this week. Pretty fired up. So I'll just go straight to it. This week, 12-5 overall. Dino was 2-2. Hit on both my golf matchups, Hideki over English and Zalatoris over Henley. That's a foreshadow for Zalatoris because he might be my matchup fucking pony.
I think you
moving
said
forward.
that the farm pick you wanted Willie.
Yeah, I was like, Zalatoris, the guy's on fire right now. I went to the UFC, took a big favorite in Michael Johnson over Clay Guida. Clay Guida actually looked phenomenal, which isn't saying much because Michael Johnson sucks dick. But Clay Guida grinded one out, got a nice unanimous decision W, so I lost that. And, me and Jared butted heads this week. I literally said I didn't have much of a handicap on it, but Chiefs -3, I didn't hit on that. And we'll talk a little bit more about NFL. I don't think anybody in the right minds could have predicted, and I always say this whenever I lose a bet, could have predicted, could have been predicted that type of game happening. But seriously, who could have?
No touchdowns.
I don't know who could have.
Yeah, but you can predict that type of game is my point.
Yeah, no touchdowns for the Chiefs.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
no one. That would have been a nice cash out right there.
I don't even know what those odds were.
Amazing.
So I am sitting at all time at 20-12-1. That's a 63% win percentage. I'm gonna ride this train till it gets off the tracks, but hopefully that never happens. My brother, on the other hand, really carrying the team this week. Jerusalem Jared Plotnick at 5-0, the farmer this week. Really came out banging, cashed on the Bucks +3.5. If he was a man, he would have taken money line, but he's not. So also hit on all 4 of his golf matchups. Hey, that makes 6-0 in golf matchups with the Plotnicks this week. So Webb over Berger was a nice cash. Berger missed the cut. Fowler over Woodland. They both missed the cut, but Fowler somehow still had a better score. Gotta love those.
You still get those.
Yeah,
right?
as long as they have the better score.
Yeah,
Those are the fun ones when they both miss the cut and you have to make sure that they squeak out just a few more strokes. Hideki over English. English missed the cut. And Wyndham Clark over Kazire.
That was my favorite one.
And that was a nice one. So Jared is
Clark.
31-17-2. That's 65%.
Oh, it takes a lead.
You see a trend here?
Yeah.
See a trend here to the Plotnicks. We know what we're doing. And then you got the Moo Man, the cow over there with a nice 50-50 week, 3-3. We talked at length about the Brady over a half a rushing yards. The funniest part about it was Miles is like, "There's no way the game's ending in a kneel."
I said it was a win-win, just in case he was taking it. That means they were winning. So either way,
Yeah, you saved yourself because I re-listened to last episode and I was like, this kid cannot sound more stupid.
Did you cash crop the Chiefs?
You mean the Bucks?
Or sorry, the Bucks?
100%.
Okay, so then really he actually went 4-3 this week.
Yeah. Well, and then if you wanted, we'll go.
So
with that
4-3. All right, that makes everything a little bit different.
But Memphis shouldn't have been those two bets.
Yes, it was. You admitted that you were going to take.
Because it was -1.
No, he said Memphis money line and Memphis minus a half over the Rockets,
Stick to what you say, man.
and they both lost. So that's two cash
Same
crop
thing.
losses. Eat it. You said it, not me.
I lose every week. I don't say anything. All right? Take it like a man to shot.
And if Memphis won, he would have easily been fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got
with both
100%.
I got 3 years.
Stu Gott's is strong in you.
All right, and Utah -7 versus the Hawks. That was a nice cash. As you keep saying, ride Utah against the spread, and you're going to win. Women's college basketball.
He is.
knows what he's doing. Maryland -12.
He's
riding Papa Singer.
They won by like 30.
Yeah, it was a beautiful win. And then I didn't even know it was a cash crop, but Bucks 3.5. So that makes him 4-3 on the week,
Nice.
which is 19-8 overall. He's actually got the league lead. He's sitting at 70% right now.
No, we'll have to go back to the tape to see if he actually took Tampa as a cash
I
crop.
think he tailed you
on.
because it was you two
Hey,
I
versus me.
said I'm waiting
Listen.
for a rebuttal from the farmer.
He's in the
Because
running.
I thought he was going to try to correct me.
I
but he
mean,
said-
Miles is in the running for 6th man of the year. Comes off the bench, low volume. We all know
It's true.
the starter. The two starters on this team are the Plotniks.
Hey.
Two bench guys are you and I. And you're outperforming me. So.
We all have our roles.
Hey, we'll take it.
I got the
Eric,
highest percentage.
let's talk about the sheep. The sheep coming out with, he made what? He made 3 or 4 bets.
He's back.
Eric's first winning week in about a month and a half.
Feels good.
Go. Congratulations. That's why we're at this house. We told him if he can.
And not only that, an undefeated week.
So like I said, I haven't been listening to our podcast, but I listened to both my picks, and Farmer literally is like, those are 2 sharp picks.
Yep.
And
Love
both
that.
cash.
The field goal one was sharp.
I tailed the field goal one. I tailed it. So it was
That was exactly-
it was the shortest field goal of the Super Bowl,
I don't
being
even remember
over
that.
27.5 yards. We got so lucky at one point.
Yeah.
And
so
the
it's
first
right there.
half.
Yep.
It was that PI penalty,
Awful.
and then they scored
And then, like I said,
because they were about to kick like a third,
There was like 12 seconds.
yeah, and then they scored, which was
And then
phenomenal.
I said that no one's really going to set up for a field goal. Bucks were on the goal line, 4th and goal, and they left the offense on the field, got stuffed. So those are really the only 2 scares. But after that, I was.
It was sharp, and then you had Bryant -5.5 in college basketball. The game got postponed because of COVID, and then this was the sharper one. Jared even liked it a lot. Was the Preds over the Cats
That
or the
was-
Panthers in hockey,
That was lucky.
and
That was really lucky.
Still,
you
sharp
got
pick.
the
Yeah.
W. You got the W.
What's the whole point? Panthers were undefeated. They're going to be a little lackadaisical. Up
Yeah.
2 goals, 6 minutes left. They get caught in the back heels, give up 2 goals, and Forsberg ends it.
Coach ruined it. Challenged that one goal
Yeah,
right on the
that's
power
sick.
play
Coach Q.
goal.
No, we're foreshadowing to the future. But
So, hey, Eric moved his way back up to 15-17. That's 47%. I mean, hey, just a few more good weeks, and you're going to move back over that 50% line, and you'll be
That's my
back.
motto: chip away, chip away, chip,
Chip away. That's true. And Bet the Farm, we could not agree upon one, even though I said, well, Zalatoris, but nobody wanted to tell me.
We also were very close to doing the field goal.
Field goal, which I was on your back as well.
yeah, and someone said
Miles was the one that said
Someone
no.
was adamant
Brady
about it.
over.
He was the one asking for the over half. Like, I would ever take that. So we're still sitting at 6-0 on the Bet the Farms at 100%. And on the week, like I mentioned, I had it at 12-5. Really, it was 13-5. So that puts us at 88-57-2. That is a 61%
Yeah, we're
win
still-
rate as a farm. I mean, we told you guys we're going to give our best bets when we talk about our cash crops. And at 61%, if you're beating the bookie 6 out of 10 times, I think you'll be, pleasantly happy with your bankroll.
I know the fans at home probably wondering, hey, the farm takes a lot of work. It's been the fall, it's been the winter. Everybody enjoys the cold weather. We love to be on the farm, and now we're getting into the spring, the summer. It's going to be hot. No one wants to be out there working.
That's when
grinding.
the farmer. That's when he cashes his crops. When the rain just came down, the rain's coming. It's sunny. We live in South Florida.
That's what I'm here to tell you.
No, that's
We're-
when you got to fight for them. When it's like
Yeah.
in the spring, it's a little cold out there. It's NFL season. It's easy to get those winners out. But summertime, that's when it gets a little vicious.
This
It's
is where
tough.
we're-
You got
yeah.
to work for them.
This is where we're going to grind for you guys. We're not giving up. Football, yeah, it's a great sport. It's easy to handicap for the most part, but
I
We're
miss my teasers already.
Yeah, you're done. You're gonna fall.
I'm ready for baseball.
Nah, I've got a few other
Oh.
I've got a few other niche sports which I'll get into later, but let's talk about niche sports. Miles, let's get straight to the NBA. What do you got this week? Because like we talked about, NFL is over. This is going to be prime time NBA season. We're getting it's almost crazy. They're already talking about NBA All-Star votes. We're getting towards somewhat of the middle of the season already because it's somewhat of a shortened season. My Heat are finally climbing back with Jimmy Butler, but what are you liking this week? I know, let me guess, you're taking Utah.
That is definitely something I want to talk about. But I'm gonna start with tomorrow night, February the 11th, Thursday night. We got Golden State Warriors versus the Orlando Magic. You know, a good friend of ours is the equipment manager for the Magic, but I'm fading him. I love you, Jacob, but I'm fading you.
Shout
I'm
out,
gonna go
Jacob.
Golden State Warriors -3. This team has been incredibly hot lately. Stephen Curry is playing out of his mind. I can't even imagine what's gonna happen
It's
when
crazy.
Klay Thompson gets
They
back.
turn it around. I
He-
know at the
I
beginning of the
mean,
year.
They got Draymond back.
Yeah.
Oubre stopped bricking every single shot he took.
You know, we haven't really seen much from James Wiseman, but
Got
in the
hurt.
future, this dude is somebody that's going to be great. I really do believe that. But Steph Curry's just playing unbelievable. And so I have Golden State -3 against Orlando. I'm taking that for 4 units. This is the most units I've ever taken on this podcast, I think.
Utah over.
No, this is
What? This kid already in his own. we were
Golden
just talking
State
about Golden
Warriors
State.
-3 against Orlando right now. Get it in right now. I'm taking it for 4 units.
Right
Wow.
now, as in when you listen to this.
Right. And that is a cash crop. And then I got another cash crop to follow that up in the NBA. We got the Portland Trailblazers versus 76ers. 76ers have been extremely hot lately, but I'm taking Portland. Okay? You got a healthy team minus Nasir Little, who is a Jacksonville native, who I actually enjoy watching.
Who?
But
Nasir.
you know
Nazir.
What was
We're,
the
we're
line?
going Portland +6 against the Sixers.
Portland.
That's a sheep special.
That is just going to be
I-
that's going to be a regular 1 unit.
I don't mind the
play,
points.
but it is a cash crop.
I don't mind the
Doesn't that
points.
scream like that's my style. Like everyone would want to take Portland +6 at home.
No, I mean they still are without McCollum, without Nurkic.
It's in Portland?
They said Damian has
No, it's
been
in-
battling an injury. Damian
Oh,
Lillard,
it's
by
in
the way.
Philly.
But Philly has been incredibly hot, and Philly does this every year. They start incredibly hot, and then they just fall off or find a way to fuck up. And honestly, I like what Doc Rivers is doing. Brett Brown's a fucking joke, so I appreciate that. And then I got one other one, Phoenix Suns. And what do I say about the Phoenix Suns?
Always fade the
Well, I
Phoenix
mean,
Suns.
last
I
time
never say Phoenix Suns.
Well,
I know last time, but
You're saying
I always say.
overall, what do I say about the Phoenix Suns?
take them as a dog.
Okay.
Until you don't.
And they are a 5-point dog against the Bucks. Coming off a back-to-back. That game is tonight, February 10th at 10 o'clock at night. So we'll get this pod
It's
out.
in Phoenix.
It's in Phoenix.
Yeah, they're gonna listen to this in the next
I know, but I
hour.
just want this to be on the record, okay? We can
Can we get the producer to put that on Twitter, Instagram, something?
Yeah.
We'll get this out
We need to
there
hold
to
this
you
kid accountable
guys.
for fucking one.
Phoenix Suns +5 against the Bucks.
We may need to crop this out of our segment if he
Yeah.
loses because he's the woke. But no, he's
they're
been hot with
definitely
his.
gonna win.
He's been hot with his NBA, so that's nice 3 cash crops.
But yeah, as I was saying,
You got more?
It's not a cash crop. There's more things I want to discuss in the NBA, but if you guys have anything
No,
as far as cash crops,
just,
in
I
the
just want to
NBA,
know your
please have it.
feelings about the Brooklyn Nets. Do you still think they're the?
I mean, Kevin Durant's out right now. So it's tough, but 100% why? Because they lost last night?
That's like 3 in a
14
row.
and 12.
Okay, I strongly believe that they will win the Eastern Conference.
They're 14 and 12.
dominating right now.
Yeah, they are.
But one thing I do want to talk about, and I know we talk about this every episode, and I'll make it quick. LaMelo Ball coming off a 34-point game. Did you guys know he had 0 turnovers during that game? 0. And I know a big flaw of his game has been his turnovers. 0 turnovers for a rookie. That's been incredible. Next game follows it up with 7 3-pointers made. What did I say on the very first episode? He's not going to create his shot. Am I missing something right now?
Yeah, I purposely
Yeah,
was telling everybody to not talk and just let you keep doing this.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
gonna
No,
wait.
but this is
Keep going.
important. I told you, if he's open, he's going to hit his shots. He had 7 threes.
Wow, it only
That's
took
like
him
an
20 games to do it.
Over 50% shooting from 3 to make 7 threes in a game. Rookie of the year, you could have had him at plus 400 if you listened to me in the
I
first
was
episode.
interested though. You saw the Heat were potentially in conversations to trade for Lonzo. I thought that was interesting. I would never do that ever.
I mean, as
It was like Duncan Robinson.
Looks like,
I was like,
he
no
might go to
chance.
Chicago, too. Chicago's a big play for that.
I mean, I'm not a big NBA guy, but from like a step back, like looking at Instagram, seeing stats, I mean, LaMelo has been impressive.
No,
For sure.
I mean,
He has all the hype around him. A lot of people get mad.
not big.
I
I knew-
know. I didn't think he was gonna be as good as
He's
he's
a
been playing.
playmaker.
He's also in a great spot at the moment because Devontae Graham's been hurt for like 3 games.
Yeah, but even before that, he's still
Yeah, he's been okay. He had turns the ball over, and he's a rookie. He's gonna be
34
good.
points with
I don't
0
think
turnovers.
I don't think any of us ever,
very impressive.
Miles. I don't think anyone of us ever denied that he was gonna be good. We just told you to shut the fuck up about him because all you do is talk about
I
him.
think a couple of
Like,
us denied
it's-
that he would be good.
It's just like it's your just random obsession with the balls. Like it's not even like healthy.
I'm gonna say, with all due respect, I feel like there's a number of people out there listening to the podcast, and every time he brings it up, which is every episode, they want to turn it off or like fast forward.
disagree.
No one's listening to this podcast to hear your take
Well,
on
if you're
LaMelo Ball
invested in plus
every single
400
week.
odds to win Rookie of the Year, you're gonna listen.
How much money did you put?
Doesn't
He didn't even
matter.
take
What are
it.
you talking
He
about?
didn't even take it.
Yeah, let's check his history.
Exactly.
So that's all
Alright.
I really wanted to talk about with the NBA. If you guys have any questions, anything more to add, I would love to discuss further.
No, NBA is not my cup of tea.
I mean, the only thing I could say is, the only thing we could really discuss in detail is just what's the finals situation looking like? Like, who do you guys see as the
In my
front runner?
opinion,
Because the Lakers just look unstoppable.
I see Clippers Nets finals.
No way.
No
That's
chance.
my
The
opinion.
Lakers just. LeBron is playing on another level. And this is what I think I talked a little bit about last week, which is the disrespect that LeBron gets versus Brady. And I said that before. Now Brady won his 7th. I mean, is anyone going to ever give credit to LeBron for what he's doing right now at his age? And
He's only with 3 teams who won
they
championships.
even asked him, they're like, do you have like an age that you're looking to potentially retire at? He's like, the game will let me know when I retire, which I respect. Don't put a number on it.
I mean, what I'm seeing from him this year, it's like one of the best seasons I've seen out of him.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
His efficiency. I mean,
Amazing.
What I was listening to on an analytics show that I listened to was just about the fact that, in 2012, after we lost to the Mavericks in the finals when the Big Three was formed, and he was the guy. All he did was shoot the ball. He acted like he did in Cleveland. And after that season, he just flipped a switch and was like, I can't be that guy. I got to be efficient and get my teammates involved. And ever since then, his whole career has skyrocketed. And look who the talent he has around him. AD hasn't even been playing much, as usual with his injuries. I mean,
That's what makes it even
hard for
scarier.
me not to like the Lakers
Yeah.
going all the way. But the West is going to be interesting.
Absolutely.
But let's talk a little bit more about the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we didn't really break it down, but I don't know if you guys saw that Instagram post. I don't know if it's like real or fake. The guy that bet on
That was bullshit. Total
Yeah.
fake.
So I have a
Fake.
story for that guy. That guy's from Boca.
Wait, let him explain what happened.
Yeah, so for those of you at home, there was a crazy amount of prop bets you could bet on, and one of them was, will there be a streaker at plus 800? So obviously, I saw 800, whatever, 750, 800. I saw in like the end of the fourth quarter, guy runs on the field, so okay, it cashes. Then next day, all over all these sports betting, like Instagram posts, that the guy actually put, $30,000 on it? $50,000?
When
Like,
375.
There's got to be some
374.
type of void or some type of bullshit.
no.
Keep your mouth shut. You don't say a word. Now he's going to be investigated.
No, that first of all, that never happened. That's completely
I don't
phony.
know if that's false. A lot of the guys that I work with in the office know that dude personally.
Yeah, my ass.
Really?
He's from Boca. You can look it up. These guys
Dude,
know him.
no book would ever accept that bet.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
too much money.
Ever.
I'm just saying.
Why
I
would
don't
a
know
book
if it's-
accept that?
50 grand, yeah.
I don't know if that's completely false. Maybe the number's false, but I don't know if that's. You know, there was a diversion
Unless-
too in that.
unless-
You know, there was a first guy that ran out that diverted everybody so that he could run
Yeah,
out.
they probably hedged it with
He
each
got
other.
drilled right away. The first dude. I didn't even see it on footage.
I think it's bullshit.
But
Bullshit.
otherwise, the game was probably not what everybody wanted to see. Obviously, I had some questions going into it. Mahomes was nursing that injury, which they were saying he had to get surgery on. There was a report that came out today that Andy Reid's son was like being questioned or something.
Yeah,
so
he was a
yeah, the
drunk.
hit and
He
drunk.
hit a kid, and
He
there's
was
a
drunk?
Like on
they're
Adderall,
saying that
like
he
3
was
drinks.
drunk and under the influence and got in a crash, and there's a 5-year-old in intensive care. So yeah, that's weighing on him, of course.
We should have
But,
handicapped
I
that
mean,
before the game.
Yeah,
no,
Farmer
no.
did.
I mean, that's not what it was. It was the O line. They just could
couldn't
not.
block, yeah.
They couldn't
We
block.
expected that too.
I
Like-
saw they weren't even blitzing. I saw some statistics that the amount of times that they blitzed him was just, it really was minimal. It was a 4-man rush, and their O line. I mean, they're missing their 2 best tackles. They had Fisher and Schwartz were both out. They battled injuries, unfortunately, at the end of the year when it really mattered, and they paid the price. And frankly, Todd Bowles, ex-Dolphins D coordinator, had a great
Yeah.
game plan.
It's just impressive. But that was like what I told you guys last week. Like Mahomes has really never played any big quarterbacks Granted, he had some injuries and it wasn't his full roster, but
I mean, I really don't. I mean,
He's lost
Brady
both
looked
times to Brady.
Brady looked good, but like I even talked about last week, I don't think Brady's like some assassin these days. Frankly, their defense won that game. I mean, they got ball in great field position a lot of times. Tampa Bay just played great football.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Kansas City's Swiss defense. Swiss cheese defense was just getting torn apart all game
the
anyways.
refs were terrible.
Oh, and don't even get me started
That
on
was
that. The
awful.
whole first half, that's all I could think about. It was like a big asterisk at the first half. Granted, the second half was no different in terms of level of production, but that's kind of my take on the Super Bowl. I don't think.
Congratulations, Tom
Yeah,
Brady.
I
Buccaneers.
agree.
I had one cool take that would be really cool. Like Brady, I don't know what his contract was, but it would be really cool if Brady's like, you know what, I did it for the Bucs. Now let me go to another team where it's like San Francisco.
No, they're gonna run it back. He wants
But
that.
I'm just saying, like, how cool would that be? Like, okay, I'm done. I got your Super Bowl. Let me go see what I can do with another team.
No, I'm with you. But yeah, let's kind of wrap it up in the NFL. I mean, this is a sports betting podcast. We hit on the Mahomes rushing yards. We hit on the field goal. Didn't get on that Brady rushing yard.
Thank God.
But all in all, more people won money than they didn't taking the bets that we took.
It
So
was a good NFL season for us.
I had the best NFL season I've ever had in my life. So, nowadays when you get so much data at your disposal, you really got to utilize it. But let's
go. Let's go break it down now. We got some red cards of the week to hand out. Who wants to lead
I'll
us off?
start because it's about the game. My red card is easily, and we didn't touch on it, which is perfectly fine for what I'm about to say, is my red card goes to all the Kansas City wide receivers last game, just dropping 2 bombs in their face with Mahomes, just throwing prayers in the air that could have been 2 touchdowns, would have changed the whole complexity of the game. I think one of them was Tyreek actually missed one in the end zone on a
Kelce
bomb.
dropped one.
Kelsey dropped a big one.
Damian Williams got drilled in the face mask once.
Damian Williams isn't on their team, but
Darrell
Darrell Williams, and then and that was the main one when Mahomes threw the ball almost 1 inch off the ground sideways.
Yeah,
Just an automatic red card on how they performed in the Super Bowl. I mean, it's the biggest stage in the history of sports, truly, and they just couldn't perform. So, I'm not going to give an aggressive red card here because I don't want them to feel too bad because they already are beating themselves up. But shit game, red card, you guys are ejected.
Miles?
My red card of the week goes to. I was a big fan of First Take growing up. Always liked First Take, especially with Stephen A. Smith being one of my favorite guys. And then when Skip went away, Max Kellerman, I gave him a chance. My red card goes to Max Kellerman. He's been talking nonstop about Tom Brady falling off this cliff. Like, continue. Even he doubled down this year and said the same thing. And then Tom Brady goes and wins the Super Bowl. It's just unbelievable. Max Kellerman, this is for you. Red card for you. I'm just done with him.
He sucks.
That's all I got to say. He was saying how he's a system quarterback. Obviously not. And I think he's just going to keep doing it for the next 2 years. That's all I got to say.
The mic is yours.
Red card of the week. We alluded to it a little earlier. Coach Q
Oh,
for your Florida Panthers. Like, what are you doing? You're playing the Predators. You're up 5-3 with 6 minutes left. You give up a goal and you challenge it. And for those unfamiliar with the NHL, when you challenge a goal call and you're wrong, it's an automatic 2-minute minor penalty. So your team, you're undefeated, in regulation. So 5-0-2, they lost twice in overtime. You got momentum going. And you're going to go out there, you're still up 5-4 with 5 minutes left, and you're going to go make that challenge. What happens? They lose as a challenge. They get a 2-minute power play. They score, tie the game, score in overtime, and win it. And now everyone's going to look back on that one call. And hey, cut the tape for this. And end of the year, everyone's going to look back once they've lost 8-9 and then end up becoming a bottom 5 team in the NHL like I predicted before the
9
season.
points back
And
with a few weeks to
It
play.
actually starts tomorrow.
And
They get Tampa Bay.
Oh, God,
Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you struggle with the Red Wings, who are the worst team in the league. They
They
so what
went
happened
1-1.
there-
They went 1-1.
Yeah, but they lose that first game right after that harp. So then they end up losing in overtime to the Predators in that one game. So Coach Q, man, know your role. Like, your team's rolling here. Just
No, in this case, know your role and shut your mouth and don't
no
put time
challenge.
out.
yeah. So red card goes to you, Coach Q.
Don't really have a red card, but if I were to give it out, it would just be to the Kansas City Chiefs coaching. I just don't think they looked awful. I know they were battling injuries, but I don't think there was a game plan. They didn't establish anything. You have 2 weeks to prepare for this game. You don't score a touchdown on offense with all those weapons. What the fuck were you doing for 2 weeks?
Not only that, it was really they got in the red zone 3 different times
Yeah.
and they could not get into the end
Like
zone.
just bad coaching, bad game planning. So red card of the week goes to your Chiefs. I'm not going to beat you guys up. You really lost the Super Bowl. So that's all we got, boys. Break.
It just sounds like the two Chief backers or you took the Chiefs, right?
No, it's the Bucks.
Who took I thought someone was on the
I'm pretty
Chiefs.
sure
or
Jared
Brandon.
and I were the only ones on the bus.
I didn't say I didn't bet on
It's
the
me
Super Bowl.
on the
I
Chiefs.
didn't. All right, boys. Well, that leads me right into golf picks with the Plotniks, presented by one of our newest sponsors, CarMe. If you're in need of a car, don't like going to dealerships, don't like the whole process, waiting hours and hours for your right price, CarMe will deliver the car to you. Take that time, eliminate it. You'll have a new car on your doorstep within 2 hours. CarMe.
Car gets stolen from Davy Golf Country Club.
CarMe. Need a new car? CarMe.
Best service in South Florida. Appreciate you, Carmi.
All right, well, last week, the farmer connected with
Let's go.
a value pick. And
Come on.
He's been telling you guys that all year. You want to take a top golfer with the best odds, value-wise. And if you guys were listening, he gave you Brooks Koepka. That was a backdoor win.
40-1.
lot.
Hey, you got to get lucky with winners, right? He
A lot-
chips in on
a lot of
17,
people,
wins
yeah.
by 1. But
A lot of people chose.
I said on the pod, or I said last week on the pod, I said, look, I'm getting Brooks, who's to me hand in hand similar golfer with JT and Rory, and he's 4 times the odds as those two golfers. I'm just gonna take the odds, and this is where you gotta get lucky and you hit these ones and you find the value. But I'll take it.
Nice,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Very nice
sickening
guy.
to me because I was like, I love Brooks, but I saw him open at 54-1, moved
That's
down to
our-
40. I lost value, but sometimes there's value to be had regardless. And
That's your
Jared
first.
found it.
That's your first official cash crop. If you've been listening, he's mentioned the name of the winning golfer. I think 3 of the last 4 tournaments. So.
Fucking should have had Patrick Reed the week before. Should be going
Kevin
back to
Na.
back, but I want to.
Kevin Na.
I like Kevin Na a few weeks
So-
before that. So look, we're on the right page. I mean, I think every tournament we've at least had someone here. We're only taking like 8 golfers total, maybe 10, and we've all had at least one player in the top 5.
Answer
So
top 5. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're playing those golfers, top 10, top 5, we're going to give you someone, like I said before, that's going to make you money. There's a lot of ways you can bet the golfers.
No, but it's not that. I mean, if you would have tailed everything, for example, that Jared's taken so far, and all you do is hit on Brooks, you've automatically in the
profit.
money.
yeah, I'm still profit.
Sometimes it takes a month and a half, 2 months, and you still cash all
If
that
you get
money.
hot and like if I wasn't stupid and tailed my brother and I took Patrick Reed, no, I'm just saying it's a coin flip. Or if I found out the day before Matty Wolf had a wrist injury and said I would have not taken him and taken Patrick Reed, little stuff like that, and you hit 2 in a row, that covers you for the next 3 months. That's 12 tournaments,
That's awesome.
Nice
Nice
hit.
job. Yeah, nice job, Farmer.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, that whole end of the tournament was phenomenal. You guys all
was
know,
fun.
diehard Spieth fan. We finally got a good glimpse into Spieth being back. Saturday, 10 under, put himself right into contention, had a lead going into Sunday. I didn't have any money on Spieth because nobody should be betting on Spieth at this point to win a tournament, but me, I was still rooting for him regardless. But
it's
at the end
very
of the
nice.
day, I was all over Spieth. But not only that, Jared had bet Scotty Scheffler pre-tournament, and it was a combination of Spieth, Scheffler, and Brooks. We were having a day Sunday just watching that. It was phenomenal. Brooks chips in
I
on.
think it's better for the game. I was
17.
very happy to see Spieth. It's so hard to follow up a minus,
great
a
is that for
minus
the game?
10. Like we said, remember on the boat, I was like, I'll take Shoffley. And he was minus 200, so they knew. He ended up edging him out because they both played like dog shit.
Yeah, they're
but
awful.
Just hard to go back to back.
I'm
Well,
happy for that.
the tour stops at one of the.
Well,
I guess it's not your favorite tournament.
Before we get there, we still got to recap our one and dones from the Waste Management Phoenix Open.
I was trying to skip that part because I got another bagel.
Yeah. So Jared, as much as he took Brooks, which is fine, his one and done pick was Ricky Fowler, who missed the cut, so that's $0. Still sitting
My head
at
dead.
about 448,000. Eric had Cam Champ, flag.
I had Homa. I wanted Homa so bad.
Yeah, but that missed a cut, so he's still sitting at 336. Miles with a Zach Johnson bet.
How do you do?
He finished T42, made
Nice.
23K.
you're
Didn't do
rich.
much for him. He still had 241,000. And Dino also with Webb Simpson took the overall favorite for the most part at that tournament, and he also finished T42. Got me 23K. I'm at 41K. I'm only, at this point I'm only chasing about $450,000. You never know.
All it takes is one win.
All it
Let's be
takes is
honest.
one. So that's where we're at. And while we're at it, and we'll get into who we like and who we don't. But who you got this week?
Well, this week I know we're gonna break it down. I made a last-second audible last week. I was on paper. I had Max Homa. I don't know why I changed it, but he's slated. I think in Vegas. I was listening to one of the podcasts. Over under for his position this week. I think it was like 27th in the tournament. So I actually like Max Homa a lot. His odds are now 29-1 to win the tournament. A week ago, that's what we talk about. Like, it's not the greatest to take him for a tournament, but for one and done, he was 60-1 last week, and now you're getting half of that. So they obviously know that he's in good form. So I'm gonna dig with Max Homa on my one and done.
I had someone I 100% wanted to take, but due to just in pre-show notes when we're going through I don't want to like double down, so I'm not going to take him. I'll leave that to who it is. Who do I want though? I'm between a few. You know what? I'll go with my boy, who I call Miles Singer. Miles Singer Senior. God, that was a tongue twister. Why? It's that big old smile with those big old white pearly teeth. Paul Casey.
Oh.
Give me Paul Casey, the ball striker. Guy's just played 2 tournaments phenomenally over in Europe. He played good when he was in the States before that, American Express. Me and Brandon both took him.
Yeah,
including one. Yeah, so he finished both in the top 10, including a win, and those are 2 big tournaments over in Europe that he played. This guy plays his tournament well, as long as we just need it to get that putter going. But I'm not too confident. I would rather the other golfer, but I'm a team player here, so I'm going to go Paul Casey.
he won with an outfield in Abu Dhabi, wherever he won was
Paul Casey
loaded.
it was a wet field. It was a great win by him in Dubai. No, I think that was.
Paul Casey's in a great place right now.
In Abu Dhabi. I think you might be right.
Yeah.
Because they went to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and then Saudi
Arabia.
So everybody knows that I'm notorious for some strange handicaps when it comes to one and done.
Why are you whispering?
Yeah, speak up.
So my handicap this week is going to be because the Players is coming up. We spent some time in Jacksonville. I just relocated from Jacksonville. My good friends moved me out of Jacksonville. And while we were there, we played a course. And on that course, I wore a specific outfit that modeled none other than Patrick Rogers, baby. That's who I got this week. A flat bill Nike. That's who I got.
Have you checked to see if he's in the field?
Of course I did, Dino.
Of course.
I have a feeling at this rate, Miles is going to be left with like 23 of the top 25 golfers at the end of the year.
We're going to get bankrolled at the end. So
Patrick Rogers.
No, I'm talking like when this is all over, like after the Tour Championship and our thing. So he's going to still have 23 of the top 25. Yeah.
So as Jared alluded to, he didn't want to mention names, but I had flag planted. I'm taking Francesco Molinari this week as my one and done. We haven't stopped talking about him for the last month. I always said that Tiger ruined his career, but guess what? He's on a resurgence. I really like where he's trending, Francesco Molinari. And when I get into the field breakdown, you'll see why, because this is the worst field maybe on tour this year.
The fans at home have one question. Does he fit your model?
Oh, absolutely. Top 10 on the model. He's fitting everywhere.
His name just keeps popping up.
This is an approach course. You know he loves approaches. Putts good on
All right, let's
polo.
go. Get through it. Let's go.
Break it down.
Right, so
Break
this
the course down.
all right. This is the 2021 Pebble Beach Pro-Am, but no longer the Pro-Am this year. So because of COVID, as we alluded to at the American Express a few weeks ago at La Quinta, which is ironic because that's where me and my brother live at the moment. but at La Quinta they split courses and they had a Pro-Am, but just like that, there's no Pro-Am this year, so there will be no. And this is actually the one where it's more fun. We talked about it a few weeks ago. This is the one where the studs come out, Timberlake and
Bill Murray.
Yeah, Murray, but they're not doing it.
Condoleezza Rice.
Yeah, Condoleezza Rice, and it's usually 3 courses. So it's Pebble, they do Spyglass, and they do Monterey. But this year, Monterey Peninsula. This year they took off Monterey. Wow. They took away the Pro-Am or the amateurs, so they're only going to be playing Spyglass and Pebble Beach. That'll be Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday they'll be playing on Pebble solo. So as usual, top 65 in ties after 36 will make the cut. Our defending champion is Nick Taylor. That's all you need to know about how good of the players are that play at this tournament and win this tournament. So I already alluded to a lot of this, but what I'll get into when it comes to a course breakdown, Pebble, when it's not at a U.S. Open, for example, when Gary Woodland won there, they're not going to grow the rough out nearly as much. It plays super short, very tiny greens, but getting up and down, it really isn't difficult. Even there or at Spyglass. The only difference with Spyglass is it's tree lined, it's a bit more inland, versus Pebble obviously is right on the coast of the Pacific Ocean. So there's really not many hazards in general all the way around. This is just a shit field.
It's bad.
DJ was the front runner at 4-1, which is absurd, and he withdrew, so he's not even playing.
Spieth is like the fifth
fourth or fifth.
favorite.
Patrick Cantley is the current best player in the field. Daniel Berger behind him.
Paul Casey was up
Paul
there.
Casey's up there, just like you alluded to. Spieth's up there. Jason Day, just not a great tournament all around. But really, what this course comes down to, because it plays short, it's all about approaches and wedges. So if you can get high with your wedges and get high with your putters on these POA greens, so one thing I fit into my model is, shots from 100 to 125 yards. Like I said, it's a wedge course. You also got to factor in par fours from 350 to 400 yards because it's not a long course. So those are the guys that I've been eyeing. I'll jump right into it. I already alluded to it previously. My first bet is Francesco Molinari at 28-1. First reason that I loved it, I felt that I was going to get that line at a better odds that I think it would close at. I didn't know DJ was going to withdraw, but it worked in my favor. So now he's actually at 22-1. So great closing line value. I got a nice odds on that. Not only that, but Francesco's recent form is phenomenal. He has 3 top 15 finishes in his last 4 tournaments. We've talked enough about him. I don't need to say much more. He's trending in the right direction. This is a course that should fit his game. So that's my first bet is Molinari. I'll get to my second. We'll go around the table.
Yeah, well, I'll just back that up and go with it because I'm on Molinari as well, 28-1, and he's literally my favorite pick of the week. I mean, for the viewers at home, as Brandon alluded to, I took him and 2 of my other picks on Monday before DJ withdrew. So obviously better line value there than you're actually going to have. But Molinari is the one of the 3 that I still would take at 22-1. I still like those odds without DJ because the way he's playing right now, he's just striking the ball phenomenally. What you'd like to see out of him is having his irons back. And where do you like Molinari? His one issue is that he doesn't drive the ball very far. So you want him on short courses where you get wedges in his hand. And if he just gets that putter going, the guy can get it within 10 feet every single time. So this is a perfect kind of course for Molinari. We can go in. There's rumors that they're saying it's going to be a little windy, especially on Pebble. That's a little more difficult. So you want guys that play well in the wind, and he's a European Tour player. That's where he was born and raised. That's where he started his career. So he has no problem with that. Good wind player. Really like Molinari this week.
Yeah, I was just getting into real quick when we were talking about how he would still take him at 22-1. Just to give some perspective on that, you have guys like Cameron Tringale are 33-1, Kevin Streelman's 35-1. These guys would, if this was a decent field, would be 125-1, 90-1. I mean, that's how poor this field is. It really makes it tricky because we have seen a lot of guys win in 100-1 or over in that tournament, win this tournament. So I didn't want to dive too deep into getting at the top like Patrick Cantley at 10-1 or anything of that nature. So I just want to give a little perspective on why you got to take some long shots at some points in this.
Yeah, I'll dive into it. You said, it's a wedge course, it's a short game. It's not very demanding. Who's one of the best short game players on tour and one of the best wedge players on tour? Finished here second, or was in the final group last year. That's Phil Mickelson.
Mm-hmm. Well,
36-1. That's kind of what we talk about. Good golfer with big odds, like you just mentioned. The field is pretty shit. You have a guy like Cameron Tringale. You're going to tell me he's more capable of winning this tournament than Phil Mickelson? So that is my first pick. I love that 36-1. He plays well here every year. Give it to me.
You just got me rock hard because I'm on Phil at 50-1 as well.
Let's go.
Second week in a row, the Porch has defended each other. 4 top 5 finishes in the last 5 years at this event. He's finished 2, 3, 3, and 5. It's unbelievable. He's a phenomenal POA putter. Of all the courses in his career, that's the one that he putts the best on. I mean, the game really isn't there right now. I mean, if we've watched him, but isn't he the type of guy that just gets hot?
Yeah.
He gets hot out of nowhere. So I'm on Phil as well at 50-1. I just think, like you mentioned, some of these guys at 20-1 or 28-1, even Jason Day is sitting in the 18-1. I mean, come on, the guy hasn't shown much form in half a year. I'll take Phil with an opportunity here at 50.
Yeah, so my second pick is another 28-1, and actually it's perfect transition here. It's good old Jason Day at 28-1. Now again,
value I'm talking
if
about.
If 16, 18-1 right now, I would not be taking Jason Day. So if you're listening to this and you get excited, I would not be taking him at that number. But Jason Day at this tournament, he's come in the top 5 4 years in a row.
This is the one you got before DJ withdrew.
Yes, this is the second of the third I got before the DJ
Yeah, 'cause
withdrawal.
all the
So
odds drop.
Oh, everyone's shots
but that one
plummeted.
he got slashed big time, which I mean, he was probably going to go down either way, so it was a double whammy because Jason Day just plays his course great. But one thing that worries me about him this week is that he obviously has notorious back issues, and it's supposed to be like 50 degrees out there. And he's come out and said that he loves playing this course when it's a pro-am because amateurs make the rounds a lot longer. It makes it like 6-hour rounds, and he said he likes to take his time, plot around. You don't feel rushed only playing with the pros, and he doesn't have that luxury this year. So I mean, I got him at good odds, but I would not be taking him at 18-1. But I mean, third week in a row, I'm going good old Jason Day. He's gonna come through eventually.
It's a phenomenal cap the way you worded that whole thing. I couldn't agree more.
Miles, anybody?
No, but I've got a few
You're
more.
one and done?
Well, I already haven't. We already said one and done.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying
No, no.
you're one and done with Phil.
I'll just rattle off two more. Obviously, Max Homa, one and done. I mean, I took him from one and done. We talked about it. His odds last week were
trending. He's trending.
60-1. It's half of that right now. It's 29-1. So Vegas believes that he's in good form. Also think I'll go back to Cameron Tringali as like a benchmark. I think he's way better than him as well. So
I thought you were going to say you were taking Tringali.
No.
Just by the way, I saw Max Homa tweeted, and he said last week he hit his 8-iron straighter than he hit his putter. So
he's due.
he wants to, if he gets a putter going, he
saw
should be
that.
in good shape.
And then last one, I was very shocked in a shitty field again. Chris Kirk, he's been showing great form. You're getting 63-1 on him. One of the most consistent golfers on tour.
He can get
That
hot.
number is, like I said, it's another value thing. I mean, last
Not
year.
only that, he's one of us. He's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Recovering.
But yeah, those are my three picks. I got Phil, Chris Kirk, and Max Homa.
All right, I've got two more. I got Ben Burns. You know I love Ben Burns.
Ben Burns.
Yep.
You mean Sam Burns?
Sam Burns.
I was thinking like Ben Martin. Ben Martin.
I was going to say, because I got a lot of Ben Martin DraftKings. I got a little rattled there. But I'm in on Burns this week at 33-1. I mean, it just was the same type of thing. I just didn't understand the guys that were ahead of him. It's one of the hottest players on tour right now. The guy has been striking the ball phenomenally. What we haven't seen him do is close on the weekends. But, you know, sometimes when you're a birdie machine like he is and you can go low at a course like this, there's always opportunity. And then I'm on the K-State boy. Our boy Aaron will love this. Ches Reavie at 80-1.
Ches Reavie did not go to K-State.
Kansas, though. You don't think
No,
that's a
Ches
Kansas?
Reavie went to Arizona. He's from Arizona. He always wears the Arizona
Are you
Diamondback.
thinking of Robert Streb? Because I know he
Yeah,
went to
I am thinking of Robert Streb, which
He
is
always
all
wears
right.
the A.
It's all right because Aaron always roots for. Oh God! Now
He's
I'm
from
gonna have to
Arizona. I know he's from
You keep talking all
It's
over.
all right. Don't worry. It's all right. I wouldn't doubt that I was wrong there, but either way, it makes no difference to me. I'm still taking him. He has he's finished runner up here a few years back in 2018. Course fits his game really well. A guy that doesn't need to hit the ball that far. Great with his wedges. Just needs to get a little bit hot with his putter. The course just fits his game. I mean, sometimes he's the guy that just gets super hot in the weak fields.
But he catches him.
And yeah, you just can't catch him at 80-1. I feel a little bit distraught that I got the college wrong, so I might have to hedge on that. I'm just kidding. I'm taking Reavie 80-1, and that'll be my card. So I've got Molinari 28, Burns 33-1, Phil 50-1, Reavie 80-1.
All right, and now I'll round out my card with three more. One, I'm a masochist. I talk about this every week. I just love pain, so I'm going right back to Ricky Fowler at 40-1.
He's playing?
He's playing. He makes me sick. The one thing I just keep going back to him, even though I hate him, is his irons are back. He's striping his irons the way he used to stripe his irons when he was in his heyday. So the one problem is he's known for the putter, and they said he's been experimenting, trying different putters out. But look, you know, a putter, Ricky Fowler's capability. It takes one thing during this week when he's
Flip a
warming up
switch.
to figure it out, and he's back. So
Like a three-point
I'm getting
shooter.
this. Yeah,
See
exactly.
one go in.
And compared to a lot of these guys, especially because they had a U.S. Open there, I mean, he's got a lot of course experience, you know?
I mean, it's Ricky Fowler at a number when you're saying I'm getting him at better odds than Kevin Streelman and Ben Burns, Sam Burns, who's never won like these guys. Sorry, I'm just taking the value here, going back to Fowler. Then I got a couple long shots just because. Don't normally doing, but this tournament,
This is the
I'm going 80-1, and I'm going to my boy who I'll only take in a few tournaments, and it's one that he dominates historically, Brandt Snedeker.
Oh.
This guy, 80-1, he's a POA wizard. Just the way he putts is made for POA. That's where he dominates, and the one thing that Brandt Snedeker is dog shit at is driving the ball, and this is a course you get away with being a bad driver of the golf ball. So I get a guy who's I think he ranks like top 3 over his last 24 rounds from 100 to 125 yards. And they say that's like the key distance this week because all the holes are very small. So I get a great wedge player. If he gets hot this week, puts everything to within 10 feet and gets hot with that putter, he can get going. And last but not least, 90 to 1. And this is one I got beforehand. I think he's down to like 66 to 1 now. A little more iffy, but HV3, Harold Varner III, another ball striking wizard. If I can just get his putter to be, just gain a couple strokes putting, just a couple, then I like the chances of HV3 as a long shot.
I've talked plenty about HV3 recently.
You always see him like 2, 3, 4 tournaments a year. He's final group there.
He sketches me out because he's the type of guy that goes low one round and then shoots +5, +7.
He's the type of guy though that thrives on the PGA Tour, which is a ball striker who can just get hot every now and then. And in this shitty field at odds.
I mean, that's all the guys that we took are guys like that, you know? So.
Oh, that's not Branch Snedeker. I mean, that guy is not known for his ball striking. But
I'm just saying guys that get hot.
I mean,
if he's just more consistent, I think.
Yeah. All right. Well,
those are your picks.
We got some ponies. We got some dogs.
Well, that leads me right into my new segment, Brandon. We're going with the dog of the day. So for those of you at home, we are looking for any underdog. We're going to give you a pick.
Speaking of dogs, if you hear all the noise in the background, that's little JoJo.
Little JoJo,
that's our little
my
pup.
warrior.
That's the little warrior.
That's
That's
my baby.
Eric's dog, so you might hear...
Sorry for the noise. Lily is way more behaved. She's used to the settings. So
No, it was all part of our plan. Make her make noise before we get into the segment.
So dog of the day. We're looking for an underdog that's plus 200 or more. It's not a cash crop, but it's definitely a high lean that we're definitely going to try to get you a home run if you're down big and you're looking for a little comeback. And I'll get right into it. We have EPL, English Premier League, Tottenham Hotspurs at Manchester City league leading. So if you look at the recent games between Man City and Tottenham, they've all been very close. 1-goal games. Tottenham actually just beat them early in the year. We're always good to beat them once a year. It's plus 723. Not only is that a dog, that is like a huge dog.
that's a double dog.
So they're getting 1.5 goals as well.
You got a Doberman?
I got a fucking labradoodle. But yeah, plus 723 for a team that was just at the top of the table. I know their form is bad and Man City is absolutely rolling, but it's soccer. We've seen Burnley beat Liverpool. We've seen, I think, Brighton beat Liverpool. It's been a lot of upsets this year, so I'll take a respectable club with that number. I mean, it's worth a shot.
A team that could score. We had 4 goals today.
Yeah, they put up a good showing this week, so they're going to score.
I mean, don't act like this wasn't biased. I don't know what jersey you're wearing right now.
Oh, yeah, shit. I didn't realize I was wearing my Spurs jersey. That's what I got.
All right, I guess I'll go. I'm actually gonna throw a trifecta dog out there for you, right? And it's gonna just again, as you'll get to know over these next few weeks to months that till baseball starts, I'll be very focused on golf because I'm not a big NHL or NBA guy. So I'm gonna go with 3 top 20 picks for this week's Pebble Beach shootout, or whatever the fuck you call it, because it's not a pro-am anymore in my personal record book. So I'll start with someone who I mentioned before. I got Branch Snedeker plus 300 to come in the top 20. I mean, great odds. And again,
20?
so now I'm going to give you 3 guys 300 or more, and if you hit one of them, you're going to be in profit, right? And number 2, so go into my 2 guys that are complete dweebs, but I love on short courses where you got to get wedges in their hands and get hot with their putters. I'm going Ryan Armour plus 400. Love him. He guy can only hit the ball like 270 on a good day if he's got downwind. But man, you get a wedge in his hand and that putter gets red hot. And at plus 500, I'm going Brian Stewart. Same kind of guy. To me, like Ryan Armour and Brian Stewart are just tomato.
Top 20. Like, it's definitely doable.
Exactly. And Ryan Armour's been in good form these last few weeks. He's been going.
And with a shitty field, the numbers aren't going to be that low. So
Exactly. And there's a bunch of fucking dweeb golfers out there. Anything can happen. And give me those 3. Guarantee you're at least going to push.
Miles?
My dog of the day is a female dog of the day,
Ooh.
also known as the BITCH. Going to the women's hard floor. Wisconsin, who we faded last week against Maryland. I'm taking them over Ohio State, number 12th ranked team in the country.
Wow.
Wisconsin. I'm not sure what the odds are on that.
What?
Check it up. I'm pretty sure it's plus 800, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
That's 800. Is Wisconsin unranked?
Yeah.
Oh, you're taking Maryland.
I'm taking Wisconsin over Ohio State. Ohio State's number 12 ranked team.
Okay.
Wisconsin is definitely going to be plus 8. I think it's minus 18 right now. I'm taking the money line.
What?
Wow.
So
if you need to make up money, do a little sprinkle if you need to.
For a reason.
Wisconsin over Ohio State.
All right. Well, my dog of the day, and he is a dog, It's half the reason I took him. I'm moving over to tennis, baby. It is the Australian Open this week. You know I love my tennis. We were supposed to have our tennis correspondent on today. I'm going to give him total shit for the worm dog himself. He was supposed to be here.
Can't call him a dog.
No.
He doesn't deserve that.
Yeah, worm bitch. That I was. Well, I guess it's still a dog, right? But fuck him. He was supposed to be on here and decided to go play racquetball instead. So he is never allowed back on the podcast. But him and I love our tennis. Australian Open. He's more into the women's tennis. I will have some more on that later. But I'm going with Nick Kyrgios, our boy, over Dominic Thiem.
Love it.
Plus 330 outright.
When's that?
That is Thursday night. Local boy from Australia, Nick Kyrgios. The guy is fireworks all the time. He can get in anybody's head because he's a nut job. He loves to entertain the fans. He's been fired up that he's been back at home. Honestly, Thiem is a total stud. He won the U.S. Open a few months ago. But guess what? How many times do we see a guy go deep in a tournament or even win a tournament in Grand Slam? And sometimes they get that hangover in the next big major. And I could see a big upset coming. So my dog of the day. Just something, even if you want to take a parlay and throw him in there, just, a long shot. Nick Kyrgios over Dominic Thiem. That's my dog of the day.
I love it. Actually, like that. Are they allowing fans there?
Yep.
They are. They do.
So they have COVID under control. They don't even have to wear masks or anything there.
Yeah,
Really?
they had a 2-week quarantine for everybody that got there. Everybody in the area had to quarantine for the most part.
Awesome.
So they said they had one case, and it was a potential false negative in the entire city. So they're going to be out there full and about, fans in the stands. Nick Kyrgios could be putting on a show. That's my dog of the day.
I like that one too.
I like that dude. Dude's hilarious.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
All right, well, I know you guys have probably been waiting for our cash crops. No football, but we're just going to dive right into it. Cash crops of the week. I'll start us off. As you know, I've been mentioning hockey a lot. That's probably one of my favorite sports. Now that football is gone, I'm going right back to the ice. Tomorrow night, you have the Columbus Blue Jackets at the Chicago Blackhawks. Blackhawks definitely been overperforming early in the year. Had a really, really rough season last year, so off to a good start. So I think they're getting a little overvalued. I'm actually going to take Columbus over Chicago at plus 100, basically like even money. They're slight underdogs against Chicago Blackhawks, so that is my first cash crop, is the Jackets over the Hawks. We have the Carolina Hurricanes facing the Stars tomorrow night. Over-under is 5.5. Very, very low for a couple goal-scoring teams. So Carolina hasn't been playing in a while. You got fresh legs. Dallas played the other night. Dallas has been scoring almost 3 goals a game, so I love that one. Over 5.5.
What's the bet?
It's Carolina Hurricanes versus Dallas over 5.5. You got my first one? Jackets
Yeah,
over
I
Hawks.
got that.
And then my last one, Liverpool coming off a ugly, ugly loss. I know they're kind of not up at the top spot, but they're still playing for Champions League football. They are plus 101 versus Leicester City. Liverpool did not. I don't know if they play tomorrow, but I did not see them play an FA Cup game. Didn't they get knocked out by Manchester?
Yeah,
So they didn't play. They haven't played since Man City. Leicester actually just played today. Went the full 90 minutes. Barely won against Brighton. They won 1-0. So give me Liverpool plus 101 for my third cash crop, and that's all I got for you.
And I got 3 as well, and I'll make it easy. As I said, I'm sticking at golf. So we'll go with, again, some 72-hole matchups. And we'll start with a mini fade of Mr. Pfeffer over here. We'll go Francesco Molinari over Phil Mickelson, 72 holes. Then Brandon, a little mini fade of Brandon earlier. He said Will Zalatoris is going to be his moneymaker. So let's go Paul Casey over Zalatoris.
I like that one.
And it's at plus 100 too, so we don't have to lay any juice there. And for a nice juicy dog at plus 165, you get Branch Snedeker over Brian Harmon.
I love all those.
So yeah,
Sign me up.
Those are my 3 cash crops of the week.
Love them. Sign me up. Singer?
I already touched on my cash crops of the week or the NBA picks, but I'll go over them again.
So nothing across the other leagues? No,
I guess we can go back to that at the end when we list all our cash crops, but
This is
basically
the
all
time.
mine were
These
for
are
NBA.
we're listing the
We got
cash.
Golden
is the
State
time.
Warriors -3 against Orlando. We got Portland +6 against the Sixers, and then we have the Phoenix Suns, which is tonight, the 10th, which we went on to our Instagram. We posted on our story. We have the Phoenix Suns +5 against the Bucks, and I see we had one of the fans tell us that he's taking the Bucks, so shame on him for that.
Shame.
And,
Shame.
No,
Understand?
no WNBA, even red hot.
I have a miscellaneous pick. You know what? Since you said that, we're gonna make that a cash crop as well.
Well, the dog that you love, you should just take them.
No, it's not the dog. It's the Yukon Huskies because Paige Beckers is the love of my life. She's averaging 30 points in the last 4 games. The girl's unbelievable. They're minus 15 favorites against Georgetown. Listen, Georgetown, their biggest point guard is 5'9". Paige is 5'11". She's just gonna eat against him. If you could let her let her shoot without having to worry about hitting her face, she's not gonna miss. So that's another cash crop. So that's 4 of them, and the fourth one being the Yukon Huskies minus 15 against the Georgetown Hoyas.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, I've
Got us out, buddy.
I got a few to rattle off here. I'm excited to talk about them. So, as Jared alluded to, I do love Will Zalatoris, so I'm going to golf. I'm taking Zalatoris over Casey.
Wow.
We got a crossfire.
And I've been.
And the Farmers' record in crossfires, I
it's
believe, is
2-0.
undefeated. So.
Yeah.
Guess what? When it comes to total record, push. But
Scary.
I'm also taking, dude, I don't know why you want to fade Zalatoris. The guy is the most consistent player
Because I get
on
a
the
proven
tour.
golfer that's really good in an impeccable form at plus 100.
Impeccable form is Will Zalatoris. in my
Really?
opinion.
Does he have a win in his last 2 starts?
Not
in a loaded
on
field?
the PGA Tour?
The European
Paul Casey?
Tour in a stud against Rory
Yeah,
McIlroy.
how great does Paul Casey play on the PGA Tour compared to playing on the European Tour?
I don't need
It's
a
not,
win.
it's fucking tomato.
Will Zalatoris is not winning this week.
Friendly
Cut it
crossfire,
up.
boys.
All right, I got Peter Malnati, bucket hat, over Joel Damon, also bucket hat.
Yeah,
This is
the
the battle of the bucket hats. So I'm taking Malnati over Daman at minus 120. Moving back over to the hardcore, baby, and it's a different type of hardcore. This is in the Australian Open. They're playing on the hardcourt this week. I got men's tennis. I'm taking, and I'm a big men ATP guy. I bet on ATP all the time. WTA, I dabble here and there, but men's tennis, I'm taking Felix. I can't pronounce his last name. Auger Aliasme. I think I said it right. We call him FAA, Canadian.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's Canadian.
That's your
So you're
boy.
both
French
wrong.
Canadian.
That's Brandon's
All
boy.
right.
Bias
Yeah, that's
pick.
over Shapovalov, Denis Shapovalov. They're both battle of Canadians, so they're both Canadian. Felix is only 20 years old. He's plus 150. He's got a massive serve and power, which could be a problem for Dennis because he's the type of guy who makes his bread and butter on rallying and keeping the ball in play. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the handicap here is Felix gets his serve in play, his first serve in particular. He's got a really good opportunity. I'm also going into the women's tennis, and I'm going to take a parlay here. I'm taking 2 big favorites because sometimes that's what you got to do on women's tour because it's only best 2 out of 3 versus in Grand Slam men's are best 3 out of 5 sets. So it's a bit different to bet on the 2, but I'm taking Simona Halep money line at minus 230 over Kudermetova, and I'm Halep, the Romanian 2-time Grand Slam champion, over Kudermetova, the Russian, never made it past the 3rd round in a Grand Slam, 0 single wins in her career on the WTA at only minus 230. I'll take that parlayed with Arina Sabalenka from Belarus, 7th ranked woman in the field versus an unranked Ann Lee. Yeah, Ann Lee, you think that she's from what? Asia? No, she's American, and she's minus 345. The girl... Ariana's won 9 tournaments on tour. She's only 22 years old. Talk about being a stud versus a girl that's got massive power. Versus a girl who's never proven herself to be anything other than just a girl that just happened to make it to the second round. So parlay that at minus 120. Sounds like great odds to me.
Great.
And my last one, guess what? The porch. We may just need to, after this podcast, or maybe we do the next podcast on a porch because I'm on Liverpool money line over Leicester at plus 114. I got, which is nothing crazy, but 3 points back in the table of Leicester and only 10 points out of first. Talk about a must-win opportunity. You got to expect an A squad with Salah and the whole crew. You know that they're going to be bringing out all the fire. So give me a Liverpool money line, and that'll round out my cash crops of the week.
Beautiful, boys. Beautiful. All right. Well, a couple more segments left. We posted on Instagram today. Got some great questions from our audience. We're going to read them a couple off to the team. Brandon, ask the farm. What do we got?
All right. Question number 1. When are we going to get a Philly cheesesteak review from Lawson on the Flaney's Food Review?
Oh, I've been dying for that.
Oh,
That is
I
my 10 out of 10. That's always been my favorite.
I'm excited to
too.
see what will result. I already texted Lawson. We got a review planned this week, so stay tuned. We're going to be posting that to Instagram
And look,
this week.
for you at home who don't understand the Flanny food review, this is a coin flip thing that just happens. So we can't tell you when it's going to be. It's not just a decision that's made. It's a thing like, hey, we show up, we flip. I mean, we have one of those little spinny wheels, right? Wheel of Fortune. It has every food menu on the item, or every food item on the menu. Sorry,
Food menu on
the fact that Brandon and Miles were just talking about something not related had me a little shook there. So yeah, you just spin that around wherever it falls is what food item it is. So you may have to wait forever. It could be this week. You never know.
Stay tuned.
I like that.
All right. Killa wants to know when or who is going to be the favorite to win the Super Bowl next year.
Well, it just came out. It was still the Chiefs. Packers were second.
Bucks aren't.
I think they were like third or fourth.
I mean, my favorite is, and this is not being biased whatsoever, the Miami Dolphins once they get Deshaun Watson. It's over.
Not bad. Not bad.
Once they get Deshaun Watson. I don't know. I feel like the Chiefs should still be the favorites.
For sure.
We don't know what Tampa's going to do with that team because I don't
Well,
think they
they
can
wanna
afford
pay,
everybody.
Mike
Yeah.
Evans already said he's going to take less money to keep the team together.
It's the Tom Brady effect.
It's once you snap out of the post Super Bowl
Yeah,
coma,
give it 2-3 months. It wore off of you.
Going to be more false.
All right, well, let's get us out to the diamond because Bingo Bets 45. Glad that you follow us, but when do pitchers and catchers report? And what do you think about the Marlins' chances this year after making the playoffs somehow last year?
Well, pitchers and catchers are reporting within a couple weeks. It's always like I think
Mid-February.
it's got to be coming up soon. And the Marlins' chances, it's a stacked division this year. A lot of teams have made a lot of moves. We made some small moves, but I don't know if you saw Justin Levine. Thank you for sending me the Miguel Rojas. I don't know if it was an interview, but he was literally fired up about our rotation. No one believes in us, but we have 3 potential aces in Alcantara, Sixto Sanchez, and Pablo Lopez. Also have Taylor Rogers, who had a solid season. I mean, we have the pieces. Hopefully we go get Duvall. I mean,
It's pretty much done.
yeah, I mean, I think the Marlins are going to compete. We showed what we can do last year in a shorter season. I think more games create more injuries. So, I think we have a great farm system. So injuries are going to, even if we get injured, we have the farm system help. Whereas other teams, if they get big injuries, that might hurt them in the long run. So
And everyone knows it's all about the farm. But I'll say this very, very... Are you guys going to pay attention to the podcast or not?
Yeah, just
I got big money on something going on, but it's okay. That's what this podcast is about.
Yeah,
Gambling.
Piggy Props has a crazy Luka Doncic prop going right now.
half a point
It's out of
away.
control. He's half a point from the 2-unit point bet, and he already cashed his assist, and I'm waiting on his rebounds. I mean, all of this shit's crazy.
Yeah, my hyperhidrosis is already heavy in my clammy hands, and right
There you
now
go.
they're
4.7
That's why I
seconds.
never shake hands with you. It's only fist
they're
bumps.
dripping
But,
right now.
just to get back to Slingshot 45's... I don't even know if that was
Bingo
So,
45.
Bingo, bango, bongo,
So,
45.
but yeah, you know what? Second red card of the week, Derek Jeter, you big fat phony. You said a couple years ago, a few years out, we're gonna have a payroll up to $100 million, and we're gonna be ready to dominate. They've signed absolutely no one this offseason. Oh, Adam Duvall, you gave him a $3 million deal. Whoop-de fucking do. You have the young, like you said, the farm system. They have the young players that they need. All you need is a couple veterans that you pay just a 1 year, $70 million contract to, and they've gone out and did absolutely nothing. So Derek Jeter, that's another fucking red card to you, buddy.
Wow.
So, given the Marlins' chances, I thought they would be great going to this year, but now you're putting all your hopes and dreams onto a bunch of young guys. Which, again, yeah, like you said, like they could have a young ass rotation that's amazing, but their lineup they don't hit enough home runs. I don't think Duvall will help,
Yeah.
but
They're gonna do the same
I'm not
thing.
as optimistic as I was at the end of last year. I'll tell you that much.
Same game plan as last year. Good pitching, good defense, timely hitting.
Yeah, but they made out like bandits with that bullpen that was a bunch of no names, and now it's just still a bunch of no names. But you can't get away with that like year in and year out. So
162 season.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, I like the re-signing. Marte is going to stay. We're going to be golden. Got a nice outfield. You got to expect, Chisholm to maybe step up, or even J.J. Bleday is ready to get called up this year. Pitching staff, Eduardo Cabrera is going to be back.
Even an option this year? It's still
I
a year.
maybe
At the halfway through the year, maybe.
He's a stud.
Yeah, no time soon. But then you have, signing Duvall just shows they have no faith in those young outfielders. They have like 4 young outfielders, and obviously they have no faith in any of them because they went out and signed the big right-handed bopper. So,
All right.
Used to
I got
crush
one more question. from Lord Treelisky. He wants to know.
The fuck is that?
Lord Treelisky wants to know.
Big tree.
Because just so everybody out there knows, Eric was a collegiate pitcher, a baseball pitcher,
upon a time.
and he wants to know why didn't Eric pitch on senior night?
Oh God! I went. First of all, it was my birthday. I think senior night was my birthday, so we literally went out the night before to Story all night. It was like me, Ruben. I forgot who was playing, what DJ was playing, but we were out all night. I literally show up to the field and I am a zombie. Like I cannot move. I literally told the
On
coach.
senior night, that's
Yeah, my
nice.
dad flies down, like coming to try to watch me pitch one last time, and I'm just like, Coach, like it's just not gonna happen today.
What?
I was a zombie.
Who cares? I would just go up there, throw a few balls, get taken out. Like, at least you pitch.
It wasn't even possible.
I hope Michael's not watching this.
Sorry, Dad.
Well, that wraps it up for hashtag Ask the Farm. I appreciate all the viewer questions. Thank you guys all for following. We certainly appreciate it. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell them all.
Well, boys, great episode. We've covered a lot. No more football, so we really want to take time to dive into other sports. Like Brandon mentioned earlier, nice UFC card this weekend. We got the Nigerian Nightmare Usman versus Billy Burns.
Me and Bird Dog.
Gilbert.
Burns.
Me and Bird Dog will be recording tomorrow. I'm sorry, we did say we would record last week. Unfortunate circumstances didn't allow it. You didn't miss much. The card sucked ass. This week's card is going to be phenomenal. So we will be recording. That'll be released on Friday. So
Yeah, and thank you again to our sponsors, Singer Health Center and CarMe, for always believing in our show.
Carmi.
Singer Health Center. Boys, thanks for coming to my house. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself here.
Great hospitality.
Is it next week? Will we be in the new house, or is it we're back here?
Now we got a few more weeks. We'll be back here for the time being until the real studio is built. We have an entire construction studio being built right now,
Love that.
and you guys,
just
will,
got,
you guys will
word.
love what you see.
I also just got word from my wife. I know I gave you guys steak and lobster mac and cheese tonight. She said, don't get used to it. It's going to be a couple weeks, but I will be giving you guys a good menu for here on out. Make you guys feel like you're at home.
Yeah,
That's all I can do.
So going forward, we're doing like a Paul Casey over Zalatoris, bet the farm, or what?
Ooh.
No, that would make no
Do
sense.
it. It's going
No,
to be very hard to go bet the farm.
I mean-
we were both on Liverpool.
It was easy through like the NFL.
Liverpool over Leicester. Him and I were on.
I don't know, Vardy, the teams just look like shit. I know.
Unless you guys like Portland tomorrow night.
Kind of like the Suns tonight, but it's just too late. I would have done that. But
There's another one
Honestly.
that you had that I really liked. No, you had a bunch of golfers.
Hey, how about
Yeah, you-
Halep and Sabalenka
Warriors against
parlay?
Orlando.
You got two big favorites to win with tennis. I got a two-time major winner in Halep,
risking BTF,
Sabalenka.
but we're going to have to put the title
UConn
on.
against-
I just want to keep being as tight as possible until we lose. Once we lose, we'll
It's
just
like a
do it every
poker
week.
tournament,
Yeah,
you know?
you
We have
can't.
a
You,
We have a good stack. Like, we'll just keep our chips and we'll push all in when we want to.
All right,
yeah,
no
you
bet the
said like
farm.
Molinari over Mickelson though, and then you were loving that one, even though you took Mickelson.
I honestly like all your top 20s. Those are great.
Brian,
odds.
yeah, but that's not a.
No bet the farm this week, guys. But guess what? We're going to stick with the 60% win percentage, and you guys just keep tailing, keep winning money. We always appreciate you.
Thanks for coming into my home, guys. Have a great night.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.